Well, it has been a minute. Hello, if you've been waiting on my next upload to this channel, welcome back. I uploaded next to nothing in 2024. So as a matter of announcement and housekeeping, if it wasn't already apparent from context clues, this is no longer a channel with an upload schedule. At all. What this is going to be is a channel that I can just keep coming back to when I have an idea that really grabs me. Alright, the pushing myself to put out content really wasn't making content that I was happy with. And it was putting enough stress on me that if I wasn't down on myself for not hitting those weekly uploads last year, I probably honestly would have uploaded more. Just the way it is. I don't even remember what my resolutions were for last year. I know one of them had to do with this channel, and that didn't happen. What did happen last year? I was able to make it to an improv class like I was hoping to. It was at my local library, and it was a tremendously fun time. Other things that happened last year. I got more involved in the local TTRPG and convention scene. So I got to meet some folks there, have a good time there. And a lot of it, honestly, I was able to really just connect to, finally, in a lot of ways, rediscovering just how to be a person away from all of the content engine, content farm, do things for websites, consume things from websites. Like, I think for a lot of us, that's where we were during COVID. And I think last year was my year of just being able to say like, hey, I would rather go spend time with people than sit here trying to monetize all of my hobbies. And so this channel is a hobby to me. I do enjoy doing what I do on this channel, and now that I'm scaling it back to just what I enjoy, I'm hoping to do more with it, right? Try out maybe some things I haven't done before. I don't know, we'll see. As far as resolutions for this year, my big one, the thing that I wanted to try, because I've seen it work. I have seen when someone has a vision, they can make this work, operating quarterly, all right? I want to not set goals for the whole year. Right? Because a lot of goals, if you set them for the entire year, what you find is either you get to December and you're like, oh, I have a month left to do this and I can't do this in a month, so forget it. Or you look at that entire year and go, I've got a year to write 5 pages. And then that leads directly into that first one where it's December, you're down to a month, it's too much stress. So I'm setting myself what I feel like are some reasonable quarterly goals. So you're not getting my entire 2025 in this video. You're getting my Q1 goals. And I know the corporate calendar offsets from the calendar year, whatever. I know when January is, and we're just going to go with it. All right. So I kind of divided some of my goals into working on writing, working on all funnies and games stuff, so the things I had been doing for however long up to now, working on what I'm working on with a new project, Hot Gravel Games. It is what I'm calling my storefront on itch.io, where for now I'm just participating in some game jams, but I'm working on making some of these quarterly goals, planning more play tests of stuff that I'm working on, right? I think a lot of the stress of doing things like YouTube, and I'm kind of kicking myself that it took me this long to realize it, is upload schedules kind of create a thing where it's a little bit less of a hobby because you're giving yourself constant deadlines. Whereas getting into things like game jams, I have a project, it has a deadline, and when that's done, it's done. It is not intending to live out the rest of my life with constant weekly deadlines on these things that I started for fun. You know, if they ever turned into even a side hustle, that'd be great. I've never made 1 red cent off my content creation stuff. I do this because it's fun, and I lost that a little bit last year. But for the things that I would like to try and monetize, I think I'm going to have much more success, and I'm going to have much more enjoyment of those things if I look at one-off projects that I make, finish, and then once they're done, I can ship them out the door, And if they sell for anything, they sell for something. And if they don't, I've moved on to the next project. And it's not something that I'm continually pouring time and energy into. I think that was where I tripped myself up a bit in years past. And it was a lesson I had to learn in 2024. And being off learning that lesson was why you didn't see much of me for most of last year. So, for all funnies and games, I'm looking at the podcast. I started here before last that I am now 15 episodes into. 16th episode should be going up today. That's not many for a year and change, but it's where it is. I want to finish the current storyline on USS Undertaking. That's the webtoon I've been making on Webtoons. It's a comic. I really enjoy a lot of what I put into that. It's very, parody of sort of the science fiction concepts. The way I can best elevator pitch it is, imagine if the Enterprise 100 years after Star Trek was one of those hokey living history museums. That's the whole pitch. And I loved what I was doing with that, and then I burned out there too. So I want to get back into it, and in quarter one, finish the current storyline and figure out how I'm going to make that more of a quarterly thing, right? So in a quarter, do a storyline, and if that looks like continuing 3 times a week updates and getting back onto that schedule, that's what it looks like. If that looks like sitting down for a long weekend and just making a comic book more than a comic strip, maybe that's what it looks like for an arc or two. I'm kind of finding things out, and it's exciting. And then these YouTube videos, I want to make this video. I want to catch up by making my 2023 reading log, fingers crossed, and then I want to do my 2024 reading log. That's every YouTube goal between now and the end of March. So it's not many, and I might exceed those goals. But those are what I'm trying to throw my hat over the fence with and say, these are what I want to do. Keeping it reasonable, keeping it simple, and just trying not to make it a trip on myself the way I have in the past. Because, I got 460 subscribers. This ain't even close to a job for me, all right? And if I can't enjoy it as a hobby, why am I doing it? So figuring out what it's going to look like to come back to this as a hobby. For my writing quarter one goals, I finished a short story that I promised my writers group. It was a challenge we all set to ourselves over Christmas. That one's already done. I have a novel I've been working on. I want to hit 30,000 words in that. Time of recording, I'm at 15,900 something. And hopefully, between quarter one, quarter two, and then going into quarter three this year, bring that up to 80,000, which is about the minimum you can do, and try to publish it as a novel. We'll see. I'm kind of figuring out if it's got 80,000 words worth of legs on this story. I don't know if there's that much story. It might be a learning experience for me, but we'll see. If it's a learning experience, it's a good learning experience. Wanted to write 2 poems, quarter one. One of those already written. I'm getting back into poetry, y'all. So that's been exciting. And then for Hot Gravel Games, I've got a pamphlet module that is mostly done. I just want to tweak a couple of things and decide that I feel it's ready for playtests. I have a full homebrew system that I am playtesting probably the day I'm uploading this video, honestly. So I'm going to get some friends together. They're going to playtest this system that I've been working on for years. And I'm going to get another round of edits. I have a setting that I want to put together for an established RPG. And again, that one I just want ready for playtesting. It's not going to be finished. It's not going to be done. By the end of March, I'd like to be able to look at it and say, I could playtest this. I know I'm going to find things to fix in playtesting, but that's where it is. I've got a thing as a supplement to Troika that I was working on that it's most of the way done. I just need to finish out some tables and stuff. So I'd like to get that ready to take to the next steps. And then I want to participate in one game jam. And I might participate in that game jam to do some of these. We'll see. I don't exactly know what that's going to look like. Hopefully I can find a small, easy game jam just so it's it's 1 week. This is what I focus on for that week. And then at the end of that week, it's done. Win, lose, come close, have something I want to play with later. Whatever it looks like, I did the week is over, I move on. And I think that game jam mentality is going to help me out a lot. So, fingers crossed there. Miscellaneous goals. I've got a lot of personal stuff, right? Get down to 1 coffee a day, quit watching YouTube shorts before bed, right? Stuff like that. I am hoping to make another improv class happen, Q1, we will see. I don't know. I got to see what's available. I got to see what I can afford. I got to see what fits my schedule. I'm also looking at doing 50 days of art practice, which I'm already 7 days into that. Time of recording it is January 20th, so I could have done 20 days of art practice by now, but I intentionally set that goal a little bit low, right? I've got 90 days in which to accomplish 50 days of art practice. I started small, I'm getting into some good habits, and I'm going to see if those carry me through this year. So that's where I am with my goals for this year, and hopefully I can build on and expand some of this in Q2, right? So some of the stuff that I'm getting playtest ready, I can then make it the goal to run a playtest, right? The 50 days of art practice I'm doing this quarter, hopefully next quarter I'm setting a goal of 60 days of art practice and just building that up and building good habits, right? So we're going to see. We're going to see how this all goes. I am hoping that I can really make this a year that I start to figure out what my creative process needs to look like to be based more on discipline than on inspiration, right? Waiting on inspiration is a pipe dream, and I don't think there's anybody who has built a creative career who relied on inspiration more than they relied on discipline. And so that's what I'm trying to figure out. And wish me luck. We will see how this goes. I don't know if anything I just said is gonna work. That's to be determined. But what I think might be happening, and I gotta see how I'm feeling with this channel after the next couple of videos, I think the New Year's resolution videos might be turning into quarterly update videos as I figure out these goals, see what worked, see what didn't, iterate, right? I have this thing on my wall, and actually I'm just going to grab this camera and show you. It is one of my favorite posters on my wall. Yeah, a hard angle to see it from. That poster was put out by Extra Credits. You know what, maybe I will just take a picture of it as I'm editing this video, because I don't think that camera shot did much of anything. But what that poster says is, fail faster, right? It iterates a little bit further on that, but the general idea is failure is iteration if you take it as iteration. And as much as I've wanted to aspire to live by that in the past, I think that's going to be a watchword for me this year. That is going to be a mantra for how I operate going into this new year. You take every chance, you learn when one of those chances fails, and you iterate on failure. Because the more times you iterate, the more you're like circling closer to what you really want to be accomplishing. We're going to see how all of this works. Wish me luck. Thank you for watching this video. Thank you for any subscribers who are watching this after my long, unplanned and unannounced hiatus. Thank you for coming back. Thank you for wanting to see what I'm up to despite the long absence. Hopefully, as I go back over some old videos and see what I like and what I didn't, I'll be learning a bit too about where my style really lies and where my style really shines. Figure out what I'm happy with, what I'm not, and how to kind of iterate in the direction of what I was happy with in my old stuff. So, thank you again for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you next time. Bye! Thank you for watching. Please share the video with a friend or several friends, and let me know in the comments if there's anything you'd like to see me draw in a future video. Later, y'all!